The harsh fluorescent lights of St. Mercy Hospital buzzed overhead as Renee Parker, a local television reporter, shuffled through the hospital corridor in a robe and slippers. It was her fifth night in a row, waking up screaming, soaked in sweat, heart pounding like a jackhammer. Each time the same dream, the same voice. Room for one more. Nurses passing her by gave polite nods, already used to her nightly wanderings. Since she was admitted for what they thought was exhaustion and mild trauma, after collapsing on air during a news broadcast, Renee had been restless, drenched in anxiety she couldn't explain. She didn't remember fainting, but she remembered the dream. In it, she would rise from bed, walk barefoot down the echoing halls of St. Mercy, and descend to the sub-basement morgue, room 22. That cold steel door always loomed like a tombstone, and behind it, that nurse. She was always standing there. Her skin was waxy, her uniform blindingly white, her smile chilling. Room for one more, Miss Parker, she would say, holding the door open wide. Inside, darkness. Always darkness. Then she would wake, gasping, clutching her chest. Dr. Daniel Kent, her attending physician, sat across from her in the patient lounge the next morning, sipping burnt coffee. His brown eyes were kind but skeptical. "I don't want to downplay your experience, Renee," he said, "but we have done the scans. There's no brain tumor, no neurological abnormality. It's stress. You are burning out, and your subconscious is crying out for rest." She stared out the window. "Why the same dream, Doc? Same corridor, same door, same woman?" Dr. Kent shrugged. "Hospitals are unsettling places, and our minds do strange things to fill in blanks." Renee shook her head. "It feels real. I can smell the antiseptic. I can feel the cold floor under my feet. I don't believe it's just a dream." That evening, Renee sat beside the only other patient in the psychiatric ward, a pale woman named Cora Lansing. With wide, frightened eyes, she barely spoke. But tonight, Cora turned to Renee and whispered, "Do you see her too?" Renee froze. "What do you mean?" "The nurse," Cora said. "The one who waits in room 22. Renee's throat tightened. "How do you know that number?" "I dreamed of her," Cora said. 3 nights in a row. And the last time, I followed her inside." Renee leaned closer, and Cora shivered. She shut the door. "I heard it lock behind me. Then I woke up screaming." Renee stood up. "It's just not me. Oh my God." Cora grabbed her arm. "Don't follow her. If she offers you the room, say no." The nightmares grew strong. Every night, Renee was drawn to the corridor. The walls would pulse with an unnatural glow. Her feet moved without command. The elevator always opened on its own, going down, never up. She tried staying awake, chugging coffee, begging nurses to tie her down. But sometime in the middle of the night, she'd always find herself outside room 22, and the nurse would be there. Tall, thin, hollow eyes. "Room for one more, Miss Parker." Renee screamed herself awake, tears streaking her cheeks. On day 10, Dr. Kent called her into his office. "Good news," he said. "You're being discharged." Renee blinked. "What?" "Your vitals are strong. No relapses." Insurance won't cover any more days unless you're in crisis. She forced a smile and nodded, but deep inside, fear coiled like a snake. Outside the hospital, she squinted at the sunlight. The air felt too real, too bright, too wrong. Something was coming. She could feel it. Back home, she tried to return to normal, but sleep was brief and haunted. The dreams had followed her. And then one morning, a manila envelope arrived at her door. No return address. Inside, a ticket. A flight, 7:45 a.m. Terminal 3, Gate 22. Her phone buzzed. A voicemail from Dr. Kent. "Renee, just checking in. Strange question. Did anyone at the hospital give you a new sedative? We had a patient die 2 days ago in room 22. The rest of the voicemail was static. Renee clutched the phone in shaking hands. Her taxi pulled into the airport. At the terminal, passengers buzzed and bustled around her. But Renee felt separate, like she was underwater. Gate 22 was quiet. Too quiet. The gate attendant smiled too widely. Early check-in? Renee glanced at the flight number. 722. Destination unknown. Her fingers tingled. The same voice echoed in her head. Room for one more. The boarding tunnel was oddly dark. No other passengers in sight. Just the whisper of heels clicking. A silhouette emerged from the jet bridge. It was her, the nurse, from the dream. Identical down to the crooked name tag that read Agnes. She smiled. Room for one more, Miss Parker. Renee stumbled back. The nurse stepped aside, gesturing to the airplane door. Inside was pitch black. No flight attendants. No other travelers. Renee saw herself waking forward, like a second version of her had accepted the invitation. But this time, she turned and ran. Security found her in the terminal bathroom, curled in a corner, hyperventilating. They called Dr. Kent, who took her to a nearby clinic. The next morning, the news broke. Flight 722 had crashed minutes after takeoff. Everyone on board was dead. Gate 22 was sealed off indefinitely. Months later, Renee stood outside St. Mercy Hospital. She wasn't reporting it. She had taken a job writing editorials about the paranormal. Cora Lansing had vanished from the system. Dr. Kent transferred out of state. The psych ward had been remodeled. Room 22 no longer existed. But Renee still saw the nurse sometimes. In dreams, in reflections. Waiting. Always waiting. If you enjoyed the video, like and share the video and subscribe the channel. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.